So Republican Lindsey Graham, as you know, chairs the Senate Judiciary Committee. He's now opened this investigation on Burisma and Hunter Biden, maybe Joe Biden, the former vice president. I'm sure that's music to your ears. You've been talking about this for a long time. You've just written a letter to Lindsey Graham. I've got it here, asking that he help you get 3 Ukrainians who want visas to come to America to testify about Burisma. What would they say about Burisma and Hunter Biden?
Well, you know, it's real simple. This case has been real simple from the day that Joe Biden confessed to committing bribery back in January of 2018, and the Council on Foreign Relations didn't note anything about it, although he said precisely what was attributed to President Trump a year and a half later that caused all sorts of... Basically, they'll prove that he committed bribery. The crime of bribery is offering something of value to a public official for official action. Okay? Here's what Joe Biden says he did. He offered him a $1 billion loan guarantee. He threatened him with a $1 billion loan guarantee.
Unless the prosecutor...
And in return for that, so that's part one of bribery. Part two is he got the president of the Ukraine to fire the prosecutor.
Right. But
the somnolent Council on Foreign Relations didn't find anything wrong with that. Although a year and a half later, when the false charge was put out that the president of the United States threatened Zelensky with not getting money in order to investigate Biden, within a minute there were headlines in the New York Times, the Washington Post, calls for impeachment. It's the same thing,
okay,
Ed,
on that point, Mr. Mayor.
Except for the double standard that we have that's corrupting us.
Okay, so pardon me. The former vice president, has said it wasn't bribery, that the prosecutor he wanted fired was not investigating corruption enough. That's his case. And when presented with the idea that Lindsey Graham is now investigating all this, here's what the former vice president told CNN. I'll let you react.
He's got a real tough road for re-election. Trump is now essentially holding power over him that even the Ukrainians would kneel to. Lindsey is about to go down in a way that I think he's going to regret his whole life.
Your reaction?
Sounds like a poor imitation of The Godfather. I mean, this is the guy who sent out a decree that they should keep me off television. He every other week he wants to get into a fist fight with the president. When he's asked about all of these conflicts and all this money made by his family selling his office, he says, I don't know my family's business. He says it so often, he's starting to sound like Kate Corleone in The Godfather. I mean, the reality is you'd have to be a fool to think he didn't know that his son was under investigation.
Okay, so he says there's
also, if Joe Biden, I don't care what he said, he's lying.
Okay.
He's been lying all his life. The guy's been a corrupt politician since the brother got phony loans when he was in the Senate. Every place that Joe Biden was a point man, appointed by Obama, the Biden family came away with millions.
Okay, you've talked about
and
that.
Nobody
Romania,
wants to look at it
China.
because the Washington press corps
Okay, well, we're talking about it now.
Him.